So I am delighted to welcome you all here this morning to this first Midlands session. I want to say the first Midlands session for the year, which is accurate, but it's probably the first Midlands session for a year, I think, as we left the COVID period with great gusto the Christmas of 2020 and into 21, and we had a great start to 2021. And then I think as life went back to as we went back to work, things got busy, and these kind of programs and webinars and all fell a little bit by the side as everybody tried to get on with work as it was at the time. So as I said, this is our reboot of the Midlands Lean Network, and we're delighted to have you all here today, and especially delighted to have Miriam and Shannon from Dawn Farms to join us today to talk about how they managed with using digitalization to support their lean methods and their culture. Just by way of a bit of an agenda, can I just get a check that everybody can see the screen that I'm sharing at the moment that says agenda?
Yep. Yes, thank you.
Perfect. That's great. So everybody can see that and everybody can hear me okay. So just as an agenda, just a brief welcome from myself, just as we get the rush of people through into the session. So a brief welcome from myself, introduction to what the network is. Then we're going to have a presentation from Miriam and from Shannon in Dawn Farms about digitization and supporting lean methods and culture. That'll be about 20 minutes, about a 20-minute presentation. Following on for that, we're going to have optional breakout sessions, okay? And one of the needs and the requirements and the asks of the members of the Lean networks is the ability to connect with other people in their field. So that's why each in our webinars we're going to have breakout sessions where optional, you don't have to join, but in the breakout sessions you get to meet a couple of peers, and we'll set a couple of talking points that you can have. So an opportunity for discussion around the topic of today, and then also an opportunity to meet some other people in the Lean space. Then we're going to come back into the main room. We might hear some of the key points that came up in the breakout sessions, and then we're just going to have a bit of a wrap up with information about our next event and some calls to action from there. So as I said, the breakout sessions are optional. Now, some of you might still be sitting on your desk and you feel you can share. So if you are invited to join a breakout session, you can actually just stay here in the main room for the duration of that point. We'll be out of here within less than an hour, so we'll be out of here by 12 o'clock, so you can go off and get your lunch break proper from there. This part of the session is being recorded. Okay, so the presentation, this part of the session and the wrap up will be recorded. The breakout rooms and the discussion and the networking is not being recorded and won't be shared in any way. The recording of this session, once trimmed down, will actually be shared on the Lean Business Ireland website for people to access at a later point as well. Okay, so the Midlands Lean Network, what is it? Well, the Midlands Lean Network is centred in the hidden heartlands, or the hidden heartlands of Ireland. And the aim of the network is to bring together excellence in the region and provide a forum for companies to network, collaborate and learn. So what does that mean and what do we do? So over the course of the year, we'll plan to run 6 regional webinars. Okay, so those webinars will run from today, March, across to December, various different types of events. We hope to, once companies are open to it, to return to networking events and site visits from the summer onwards, once people start to open their doors again. The challenge with the networking event, or with the site visits in particular, we're very restricted at the numbers. The advantages to our online events is they're very accessible to everybody, and they tend not to be limited in the numbers as well. As part of the Lean Business Ireland national events, we have the conference, which is taking place on May 24th, which is a virtual event again this year. And then we have the annual awards taking place on September 29th, which are in Croke Park, and details of the award categories and how to apply will be up on the Enterprise Excellence website in the near future as well. Okay, so that brings us over to our speaker of the day, which is Miriam and Shannon from Dawn Farms. Dawn Farms was established in 1985 and is the largest supplier of cooked and fermented meat products outside of the US, supplying world-leading brands across 40 markets. Okay, so a real Irish success story there as well. At Dawn Farms, lean thinking is a key part of their culture, and it's embraced across all of the sites, okay, with a focus on continuous improvement and making sure that all of the teams and the processes and everything within Dawn is competitive and agile. We're joined today by Miriam Keogh, who's head of supply chain and continuous improvement. Miriam's been working in Dawn for 18 years, and her role there really is to play a lead role in fostering that culture of excellence, of continuous improvement, and of lean across the business. We're also joined today by Shannon, who's a chemistry technician by training, but who has progressed through various roles in Dawn through quality assurance, and is now a continuous improvement specialist in Dawn Farms, who's currently practicing lean and studying to achieve her Master Black Belt accreditation in UL. And we are very privileged to have them here today to share their story, and hopefully you all get something from it. And then we'll have some talking points afterwards. So I'm going to hand over to yourself, Miriam, so you can share your screen from now.
Thanks, Stuart. Can everybody hear me first of all? Great, and you can see the screen. Stuart, thanks very much. Lovely introduction. It's great to be back. It's great to see all the faces and connecting again. I hope you're all keeping well. I'd like to welcome you and thank you very much really for taking the time out. As Stuart said, we're a member of the Midlands Lean Network, and I suppose our objective today is to share with you some of the ideas and how we're blending digitalization and technology into our lean methods and principles here in Dawn Farm Foods, and how we're making both of them an integral part of what we do. I'd love to think that at the end of it, you'll all, someday, if you even got one idea or a bit of inspiration out of it, I think I'm really well spent. Be very clear that lean is seen to be leading in that area. Like if lean, I suppose, if it doesn't utilize, evolve, or lead through digitalization, I think lean will very quickly start to dissolve and become less relevant. The reality is that the fundamentals and principles of lean are key and critical to improving our business. The principles, things very simple like elimination of waste, adding value, flow, whether it's digital or not, or manual, they all work and they're the same. So the trick, I suppose, is how to make sure that those principles are followed through your digitalization program. And we all know that when used properly, the lean methods and tools really do work. So with that in mind, the team here set about looking for driving for opportunities to digitalize our lean journey, to give us a profile, to be seen to be leading in the business, and to keep the lean methods and culture to the fore of the business. And that's about tapping into people through digitalization. We put on our imagination hats, we had looked at our lean tools, and we came up with some ideas and initiatives in the last couple of years, and as I say, how to drive lean throughout the business. And we continue to do that and drive it, and find that a lot of people gravitate towards our department when they're looking for digital solutions, which is what ultimately I'm aiming for. And I suppose the irony isn't lost that here we are, we're using a digital platform today to reach out and connect, talk about lean culture and methods. So I'm going to let Shannon, is going to take over from here now, and Shannon is going to give you some insights into some of the ideas on the digital lean journey that we've taken to date. Thanks, Shannon.
Okay, so I'll just start off with a small brief summary of what we do here. So our examples later on are in context. Dawn Farms is a family-owned business established in 1985, employing over 1,400 people in 4 state-of-the-art facilities across Ireland, the UK and Germany. We're exporting to over 50 countries, and we're Europe's leading supplier in multi-species, cooked and ready-to-eat meat ingredients, and a growing selection of plant-based products. We have 4 manufacturing sites. Plant 1 and 2 are located here in Naas and Kildare. Plant 3 is located in Northampton in the UK, and Plant 4 is located over in Haas in Germany. So the theme of this information webinar today is the role of digitalization in supporting lean methods and culture. On the digitalization of lean journey, we found ourselves asking the same questions. How do we connect people, equipment and data under a lean culture through digitalization? Because you can have all the right behaviors around people, good data and a good culture, but it's critical you connect them and ensure the dots are aligned. Effectively using digitalization, sharing the right information at the right meetings with the right people is key. Digitalization has the power to reach further afield, connecting people and lean manufacturing more than ever before. How you utilize and maximize is key to creating a lean culture using digitalization in order to move your business forward. Looking at the past 2 years, nearly all companies became far more digitalized than they were expecting, forcing people to think more about digitalization. With this happening, lean methods and culture would have been left behind if we didn't start utilising the digitalisation of the companies to support and drive lean methodologies and culture. So what did we do? In our digital platform, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Microsoft Whiteboard. We then rolled out our digital software training on these platforms for all employees. We started to build apps to facilitate lean methods such as Gemba walks, problem solving, mapping, 6S, etc. I'll go through some of these examples shortly. We then linked data to Power BI dashboards for sharing digitally with the teams. These ended up showing a lot of waste very quickly. And we digitalized our lean belt training also. So moving on to some of our examples we carried out here on site on our lean digitalization journey. The first big kind of area we looked at was problem solving. Our problem solving sessions went from this, where you can see everyone down the production floor mapping a process, to this, using a whiteboard app on Teams, which removed the element of space and location, allowing any amount of people to join the call and add to the fishbone in this case, or any element of the problem solving session. Gemba walks are a huge importance here in Dawn. They went from these pictures here, where you can see everyone gathered together to go look and see the target area, to this, using our virtual headsets, allowing groups to log on to the Teams call for live streams of the target area. The virtual headset you can see here is used for live video calls, recordings, and pictures. We currently use the headset for audits, customer factory tours, and virtual Gemba walks. But as the pandemic starts to decline, we are looking forward to getting back to the preferred method of Gemba walks, which we will revert to for local Gembas. But for the virtual Gembas, it's great for people from our other plants to log on and take part in the Gemba walks, which we will keep doing as part of our digitalization lean journey. Here you can see a group of people from all 4 of our sites logged into one of our virtual Gembas that took place here in Plant 2 in Nice. So our Lean Project of the Month Awards went from in-person award ceremonies in large conference rooms to this, our online ceremonies, allowing any number of people to log on and take part. By moving online to the virtual award ceremonies, it allowed again anyone from all 4 of our plants to log on and to be involved in our ceremonies. We digitalized our 6S from the stationary whiteboard that you can see here to an app that can be accessed from anywhere by anyone who has permission. We also digitalized again, we've done another 6S digitalization tool. It's a 6S audit app that is on all our tablets and can be accessed anywhere. The data is then pulled into dashboards, which can be easily read and summarized. We converted all the data pulled from the new Lean apps into dashboards, which are used every morning at our area daily review meetings. The data captured on these dashboards are summarized, can be filtered very easily. We digitalize our continuous improvement issue trackers. So as you can see, it used to be a stationary boards located in each area of the production floor. And now we have an app on all our tablets and PCs that pull into our issue tracker that can be then filtered for different areas. And then we digitalize our Lean Yellow Belt training program to allow larger numbers to attend the training sessions. You can see here some pictures of a game that we pre-recorded to demonstrate some problem-solving techniques. And I will now hand you back over to Miriam.
Thanks, Shannon. So folks, some ideas in there, some very simple, very straightforward ideas where you can capture data, connect people, and put them into really good visuals that show what we call a traffic light system, where very red, where you might have waste in a system, or there's time or something that isn't done. And we found that it was a great way of pulling information together and identifying lean and continuous improvement projects as well. And people have really embraced this. I think if you start simple and small and demonstrate and engage people with it, they absolutely embrace it. And the digital boards, The visuals, they look really good. They draw the eye to where you want them to go to, and they're very, very effective. And actually, we find now that we had an incident last week. We have DRMs, daily review meetings of operations. They have these visual dashboards, some of which you would have seen some pictures there. And, without them, people are coming to those meetings with a piece of paper and a pen. So instead, we have technology at our fingertips. We have the data. It's live, it's meaningful. And they're actually talking about what's after happening in the floor in the last 5-10 minutes, as well as the day before. And indeed, what they want to achieve in the day ahead. And I suppose the only downside of that is when the internet goes down or something like that, they're actually lost without it. So that will tell you how dependent people very quickly get to these type of digital platforms as well. I suppose just a quick word to mention that the next generation manufacturing is all around Industry 4.0. And of course, as we talk, we're already going into Industry 5. But I suppose we really need to be conscious of it. Manufacturers who use Industry 4 technology are able to reduce downtime and waste through predictive and prescriptive maintenance by using sensors on equipment, instruments and other devices networked together. Again, this is back to connecting the people and the equipment that drives all the data. And the data shows how you can maximize your machine utilization, identify and mitigate bottlenecks, make real-time choices, and what I just talked about there with the GenOps teams. And really increase the shop floor visibility, which is absolutely key to any sort of manufacturing facility anyway. And again, more informed decisions with live data at your fingertips. Industry 4 is unleashing a variety of technology that's driving a leaner manufacturing industry. Again, the lean principles, it's all about minimizing the waste and maximizing productivity, and of course, bringing the people involved. And this involves extracting data from operations and using it to drive better, faster decision-making across a business, starting with the basics and focusing on the heart of the operation, i.e. the machines and the people will help build the foundation for a smarter and connected lean operation. And we just wanted to finish on this slide, I suppose, just to make sure that while we're talking technology and data and analytics and all that, that it really is about the people. So, the people are going to be going hand in hand with the robotics and the artificial intelligence and the automation. And at the end of the day, if you empower your people, they absolutely will deliver the results. And by empowering them means that you engage with them, you talk to them, you show them what you're trying to do, you listen to them, you might get a bit of a steer and take that all on board. So again, the lean principles about people don't change when it comes to technology. The trick, I think, is about making sure that people adjust and get a bit more agile to a digitalized type of platform. So I really hope that you've got something out of that, any inspiration. Any of you want to feel free to reach out to Shannon or myself after this if you want to tease an idea through it. Those will be more than happy to engage and have that. Thanks very much.
Miriam and Shannon, that was fantastic. Thanks a million. I have some questions came in here directly in the chat. We might take one or two of them. They were kind of a bit of an elaboration, so they kind of fit in now before we move on to the next part. Just one of the questions here was, could you summarize or just recap on the digital platforms you selected again? And did you have to go and integrate them with other things such as SAP, Salesforce, HubSpot, or other CRM systems? So I know you guys from that and talked to you before, you're a Microsoft or a 365 kind of environment. So could you just summarize the tools that you used again? Yeah.
Yes, no problem. We use the Microsoft 365, which has a huge amount of tools as part of it, and we really connect them. So an awful lot of what we do is we create an app. There are the Power Apps there. They drive asking the right questions. People have to fill out fields, and then they create really meaningful data at the end of that then we turn into Power BIs, and we create SharePoints then, how we share all that information. And again, when you couldn't get everybody in a room to do your fishbone or your mapping, we use the Microsoft whiteboards, where obviously people sat beside a tablet or a PC, and we were able to connect that way. We also use an e-maintenance software, and overall we use, now it's gone through many names at this stage, but it was NavVision, but now it's called Business Central. So that's our EAP system at the moment, or ERP, I should say, not EAP, ERP system. And we have connected all those together to get data, to look at the dashboards that you would have seen a bit of a sample of there.
That's also a Microsoft product, that NavVision Business Central thing as well, all kind of ties in as well. And I think that's a very interesting point there, is that businesses of all sizes, I mean, you don't have to be dawn farms to have Office 365. Almost every business in the country has Office 365, and those apps that you have up on the slide there, so the Teams, the Power BI, the SharePoint, the OneDrive, the Power Apps, they're included in that with every license. That's correct, Miriam?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That's 100%, Stuart. It's a really good point to make. You don't have to be a big multinational business to avail of these digital platforms. I think if any of you have a subscription to Microsoft, talk to your IT person, see if you can make sure that you're utilizing, first of all, what you're subscribing to. And if you want to expand your subscription to allow for a wider product range, maybe that's where you need to invest some time and resource and money into as well. But these are platforms that really are at the fingertips of most people that are using technology these days.
And just another question coming in directly here as well is, you mentioned you just reach out to your IT person. Now I can see a lot of people going, oh, at that point. So, I mean, is this, is the development that was done in Power BI, SharePoint, OneDrive, and so on, was that very tech heavy? You guys have an internal person, obviously, but do you need an expert, or is it something that somebody could be upskilled in, or?
Well, to be honest, we didn't have an expert in the first instance when we started this out. We had two lads that were working in the department, and COVID forced everything, as I say, to go very digitalized. So they actually started focusing on more digitalization, and they were into it. So they did an awful lot of looking stuff on YouTube and did a couple of short courses and that. So they really liked it. But we were lucky with that. So I suppose it's not just anybody in IT is going to understand this stuff. You do need a certain skill set. So you will need to make sure that you're engaging with someone that knows how to create an app, which then captures the data, which will then turn into the dashboard that you want to be looking at the data, and whether you're looking at trends or specifics, whatever. So you will need someone who has the knowledge to connect all that for you.
Okay, and another thing that comes up time and time again as we talk about digitalization is that some people or some companies are tempted to jump to digitalization without doing lean. And what would your kind of comments be on that? I mean, it sounds like you had all your processes and all your systems and tools and approaches in place. Did that make that journey easier?
Well, I suppose we came from a pretty decent place culture-wise. So what we did was we kept using the lean language when we were talking about digitalization. And it's very simple. It's about what do we need to look at here that shows where the waste is and where we get the added value. So if you keep looking at those 2 points, you'll actually create your metrics around those, I suppose, draw your eye to the red flags, the green flags, whatever it is. And that's how we went about it, really. And we were seen to be leading then the digital platforms in saying, well, from an operation point of view, where's the waste? We called our program Lean Digitalization. So we had the Lean name out there, and now people associate digitalization or business with lean, very much with lean digitalization going forward. And I suppose if the principles are right and everything that they're designing now and looking at is all about connectivity, going to the people, pulling the data together, and again, where's the waste and where's the added value?
Okay, quite another question coming in here. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you achieved the digital training rollout? Was that training on the digital tools, or just a little bit about that, especially in the various lockdown scenarios?
Well, again, what we did was we got some people trained up on the key things. So, for example, how to do the problem solving on the Microsoft on the PCs, again, how to create an app, how to do Power BIs. So we had key people trained up on that. And then they basically we sent out invites to everybody, and we identified key people in each department that we wanted to have a good basic knowledge of these. And we trained them up. And then we did, during the big lockdown itself, when most people didn't have much to be doing, and we connected through our teams and sent out requests for training, and we got a really good uptake of people where they engaged and they tuned in and they learned something new about how to create an app, or as they how to create a Power BI or a dashboard.
And it really opens up a new world to people where they might have accepted a process the way it was. I mean, when we talk about problem solving in lean, is this type of waste avoidable with current technology, current systems, current tools? But when you open up that world to people, a lot of these things do become avoidable.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing. I think if you open up people's worlds, exactly as it says, George, if you open up people's worlds to the possibility, like I'd love to think that somebody sees something today and they'll actually go another step or two further again. They'll just go, oh my, they'll get an idea and they'll build on it. And I think the same as with your own teams, like if they see what the possibilities are, the next time somebody comes to you with an idea and you can build on from that. But we even had something here a couple of weeks ago with our quality department, which was again something that was very paper heavy. And got in touch with the right person in the department and said, look, we can build an app here. This will automatically upload a spreadsheet for you, and you can automatically get your data from that. I mean, this person was absolutely thrilled. Their working week went from being pretty cumbersome to bringing a really smart, efficient digitalized platform. And the win out of that is they're now spend their time looking at the red flags or the wasters as opposed to inputting and, as I say, being very cumbersome and in trying to pull all the data together.
And did you have any situations of PTSD with people encountering people with cameras looking like robots or cyborgs walking around for virtual Gemba walks? No shocks. No shocks.
No, but look,
from that as well.
it was exciting. But as Shannon says, it was exciting actually initially because it was buzzword technology and this fabulous thing over your eye and you're going to all these different rooms and people are dialing in. But I think what we really realized, and this is where I think lean and people culture is, you just can't keep the people in the room shoulder to shoulder talking, looking at something, asking the question. The digitalization there for the Gemba walks absolutely served its purpose. The big win for us going forward, and that is like our other plants in the UK and Germany can dial in. So the great thing about that is you're actually sharing. So especially from operations can share with each other instead of you all have to visit a factory floor. That's probably not going to happen because not many people have the time to travel, etc., etc. So if you can figure out pulling the connection there with people and making it easier for them to see what's going on or sharing what's going on in their maintenance departments or their gen ops floors or their throughputs or their TPMs, whatever, that's a huge win for your business.
Okay, a question came in there about have you added any new automation to the manufacturing process? So you mentioned Industry 4.0 so we've talked a lot here about implementing lean, but have the use of these tools then crossed over into problem solving or CI and the actual manufacturing facility?
Yeah, they have now. It's a journey we've started and it's very much a work in progress. But we absolutely we have started what we call a smart factory journey. So we are putting, different types of sensors on the piece of equipment, whereas before you would have captured kind of money through weights and all that sort of thing. So no, we're capturing real-time information now, and we have identified some areas in our business where we're very aggressively progressing that area of smart factory.
Okay, perfect. That's great. And quite a specific question in there about what online training resources did you use for the Power BI training? You might have that to hand. If not, you can share it with me and we'll pop it out in the main list. Yeah, if that's okay from there as well.
Microsoft themselves, I think, have different training initiatives that they share. But look, yeah, I can share that afterwards, George.
Okay, that's perfect, guys. Thanks a million. We'll probably have a few more questions and discussion points after the breakout. But for now, that was fantastic. Well done. April the 5th at 11 a.m. It's with Billy Creven from Alchemies, and he's similar format today. He's going to be doing a presentation on how they're using OEE, why they use OEE, how they're actually going about using it, how they've digitized some of the data collection in that as well. Again, same format. We'll have then some networking and breakout discussions as well, because I mean, really, this is the point of all of this. It is a network, and we're here to learn and to connect with people who are our peers who can help us to learn outside of this as well. So look, guys, I just want to finish off by thanking Miriam and Shannon again for their time and their contribution today. Thank everyone for attending and for taking part in the breakout sessions. I hope you all got something from it, and look forward to seeing you in another couple of weeks for the next session. And if you keep in touch or stay on top of leanbusinessireland.ie, all of the events for all of the regions are connected in there as well.